This channel has always been about self-improvement. It's been about ridding ourselves of our bad, destructive, toxic habits and seeking a improved, more productive, more fulfilling and happier life. I am about to undertake a challenge, which will, for me, be quite a substantial challenge, in order to see how much other changes in my life could possibly benefit me in terms of ultimate fulfillment, productivity and happiness. Now, just a quick heads up, I just want to say this isn't technically a gambling video. I know I've been away a while, so what I'll do is I'll put this video up at the same time as a video addressing certain issues about gambling. So if you're not interested in the subject of today's video, you can go and watch that one instead. But I do think this might be interesting, as what I'm going to talk about today often goes hand in hand with a gambling addiction. Firstly, just want to say hi, hope you're keeping safe, hope you're keeping sane. Thanks very much for sticking with the channel. Thanks for everyone's continued support. Thanks to Angelina and Caroline, my latest Patreons. What I'm going to do with the Patreon, there's a link in the description below, is I will start putting additional videos on there. I'm going to try and aim for one additional video per week. They're not going to necessarily replace the ones on this channel because, like I say, I don't want to disadvantage anyone who doesn't wish to support me in that way. But it's just as a sort of a thank you to those people who do wish to support me via Patreon. There will be some additional content going on there in due course. For everyone else, if you do like these videos, just like, subscribe, do that great YouTube stuff, and that'll be much, much appreciated. So what's this massive challenge? What's this really difficult task I'm about to embark on? Well, for a substantial number of people, this wouldn't be such a challenge. And that is, I have said I am going to go 100 days without alcohol. Now, if you've been with the channel a while, you may know that a couple of years ago, I had a sustained period of abstaining from alcohol. And I made various videos about it and about the benefits that I found from abstaining from alcohol. What I want to do this time is push that further, extend that period out to the arbitrary number of 100 days, seemed like a good number in my head when I first came up with this idea, and just see what benefits I can feel in terms of sort of physical and productivity and improvements in my relationships, my business and all the rest of it. So that's the challenge I'm embarking on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to share it with you guys. And whilst, like I said at the beginning of this video, I know this channel is not typically one around drinking or about self-improvement, other than the self-improvement that comes with abstinence and recovery from gambling. However, my experience, and I'm sure an experience that many of you can share, is that gambling and alcohol come very much hand in hand. Alcohol has the ability to massively weaken our resolve. I'm sure, as I did many, many times, you go out with the intention of abstaining from gambling. You go out with the intention of maybe just having a quick gamble. But a few beers in and you're venturing over to the bookies, or you're going on your phone, or you're starting to play the fruit machine in the corner of the pub. And that's why I think it's worth sharing my alcohol-free journey, to use quite a wanky phrase, with you guys. Now, I will give full disclosure at this point. When you're watching this video, I am currently on day 5 of no drinking. What I will do retrospectively, so keep your eyes out for these videos, is I will do a video about how I felt after 24 hours, maybe 72, and then give sort of regular updates as to what I'm feeling. Any withdrawal, any positive effects, any negative effects, any psychological issues that I'm having with regards to quitting alcohol. Now, what I will say is, unlike my addiction to gambling, alcohol I would not claim to be an addiction. I would not classify myself as an alcoholic. However, again, full disclosure and complete honesty with you guys, I had found myself in the habit of going to the pub virtually every day. It was very, very rare. In fact, I would almost go to say it never happened that I went an entire day without some sort of alcoholic drink. I was very seldom drinking to the stage of getting drunk, or in many cases, even to any kind of negative effects from the alcohol. However, I felt I was wasting time. I felt that I was maybe spending too much time around people that weren't necessarily beneficial to me. I was wasting time that could be spent on other more productive things. And regardless of the amount of time you spend drinking or the amount of time you spend in the pub, even if you leave in a relatively sober state, it's fairly safe to say that you can all but write off the remainder of that day. And I felt, to me, with someone who has this channel, another channel which I'm working on and will come to you with more details soon, a business, a job, a family, a wife, all these other things, right? I felt there was so much more that I could be doing with the time that I am in effect wasting on drinking alcohol. So this is an experiment. And at the end, of course, of this 100 days, I'll have the opportunity to go back to drinking, either in a reduced way, in the same way, very unlikely in an increased way, or I could hopefully, and this is the plan, hopefully I will feel or witness such adequate improvements and adequate advancements in my life, and such increase in productivity, etc., that I will want to continue this and extrapolate this out for a much longer period of time. But as I've said many times when it comes in relation to gambling, if you turn around and say, I'm never going to do X, Y, Z again, I'm never going to indulge in this vice, I'm never going to gamble again, I'm never going to drink again, I'm never going to smoke weed again, I'm never going to watch porn again, any of these things, right? Anything that you do on a very regular basis, it is rightly or wrongly a fairly substantial part of your life, and sometimes even part of who you believe you are. And I'm going to talk about that exact statement in a future video. If something is such a substantial part of your life, the idea of telling yourself, right, today is the day, this eureka moment, I'm never ever going to gamble, drink, do whatever again. The sheer mental load of trying to envisage the rest of your life, however many years that might be, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever years, trying to envisage the rest of your life without this thing that has become such a substantial and integrated part of your being and part of your character is almost impossible to grasp. And what happens is this leads to almost immediate failure. The idea that, well, I'm never going to go the rest of my life without gambling, I'm never going to go the rest of my life without drinking, so I might as well fail sooner rather than later, because at least then I can go and have a pint, or I can go and have a punt. So I'm setting 100 days. And again, in the interest of full disclosure, somewhere in the middle of this 100 days, there I have a holiday. It's only about a week. I have a holiday. And I have said to myself, I am allowed, if I so feel like it, to have a drink on that holiday if I feel like it will enhance my experience of the holiday. My expectations / hope is that by the time I get there, I would have seen significant improvements, benefits, maybe improved sleep, maybe improved, physical improvements, whatever. I would have seen sufficient improvements in my well-being through the abstinence from alcohol that I will make the conscious decision not to drink on that holiday. But as I mentioned, with the idea of never drinking again, I have allowed myself that caveat, that get-out clause in the middle of this 100 days. Okay, maybe I'll take the days on the end or whatever, if I do happen to have a drink. I've allowed myself that caveat, that get-out clause, to give myself that sort of peace of mind that this isn't forever. This is an experiment. This is just to see how it goes. And so I will continue to share how it goes with you guys. And maybe, if this is something you've been considering doing, maybe you can do it alongside me. Like I say, I'm 5 days deep at the moment. I'll make a couple of follow-up videos to this explaining how I felt after 24 hours, 72 hours. I won't do them that regularly all the time, but I think the first few days are the most important, the most critical, and the ones where you'll probably see the most negative effects of abstinence. But like I say, obviously that depends on your frequency and your level of consumption of alcohol. So that's that. That is my new challenge. That is something I am embarking on. It was a bit of a snap decision, really, and it didn't come off the back of any big hangovers or any big binges. It was just something I thought I'd wake up and do one day, and so here we are. So I'm going to share the experience with you guys. Like I say, not a gambling video. I will try and put a gambling video up, if not at exactly the same time as this one, at roughly the same time. Thank you to everyone for your continued support. Sorry it's been a while since you saw my lovely face. But yeah, thank you for everyone's support. Like, subscribe, do all that great stuff. Patreon link in the description below. Like I say, I don't know if it'll be this week or next week or whatever, I will try and start uploading additional content to the Patreon. Small number of patrons, very, very much appreciated at the moment. Didn't think anyone would sign up to it, to be honest, so that's why I didn't actually put anything else on there at the front end. But with that, I shall leave you. Hope keep safe, keep sane. Thank you as always, and I shall speak to you soon and let you know how my alcohol-free journey is going. Take it easy.